Alright guys, this is test number 6 in the opening range breakout series. In the first test, I tested the long only version with a 1R target. In the second test, I tested the short only version with a 1R target. In the third test, I tested both directions with a 1R target. Then I tested long only with a 2R target. After that, I tested short only with a 2R target. Now, for this test, I'm turning on both directions with a 2R target. So this version can take either a long or short trade. The opening range is still the first 15 minutes of the trading day from 9:30 to 9:45 Eastern Time. During that time, I mark the opening range high and the opening range low. If price breaks above the opening range high, the strategy can enter long. If price breaks below the opening range low, the strategy can enter short. But this is still one trade per day. So it does not take both trades on the same day. Whichever breakout happens first is the trade for that day. The stop loss goes on the other side of the opening range. The take profit is set to 2R. That means the target is 2 times the size of the risk. Using the same example, if the opening range high is 60.50 and the opening range low is 60.38, the risk is 13 points. For the long setup, if price breaks above 60.50, the entry would be 60.51. The stop loss would be 60.38. Since this is a 2R test, the target would be 26 points above the entry. So the long take profit will be 60.77. For the short setup, if price breaks below 60.38, the entry would be 60.37. The stop loss would be 60.50. Since this is a 2R test, the target would be 26 points below the entry. So the short take profit would be 60.11. So the setup is simple. Both longs and shorts are turned on. One trade per day. Break above the opening range high for a buy, break below the opening range low for a sell. Stop loss on the other side of the range, take profit at 2R. Now let's look at the MetaTrader 5 report and see what happened when both directions were tested with a 2R target. Alright, now we're looking at the actual MetaTrader 5 report for both directions to our opening range breakout test. Before looking at the profit, I want to confirm the settings. This test is on the S&P 500 on the 1 minute chart. The settings show that long trades were turned on and short trades were turned on. The risk reward is set to 2. So this is a true both direction 2R test. The test had 1,628 total trades. Out of those trades, 576 were winners and 1,052 were losers. That gives us a win rate of 35.38%. At first, that win rate looks low, but with a 2R target, that strategy does not need to win 50% of the time because the winners are supposed to be higher than the losers. Now let's look at the money side. The gross profit was $175,570.78. The gross loss was negative $158,246.16. So after subtracting the losses from the wins, the final net result was positive $17,324.62. The profit factor was 1.11. For me, that means the strategy made more than it lost. The average winning trade was $304.81. The average losing trade was about negative $150.42. That is the key reason this test made money. The win rate was only 35.38%, but their average winner was about twice the size of the average loser. The expected payoff was $10.64 per trade. That means on average, Each trade made about $10.64. The equity drawdown was about 6.16%, and the maximum losing streak was 10 losses in a row. The report also shows 898 long trades and 730 short trades. The long trades won about 36.97% of the time. The short trades won about 33.42% of the time. So the long side still had the better win rate, but when both directions were combined with a 2R target, the full test finished positive. Looking at the balance graph, we can see the account finished higher overall. It was not a smooth straight line. There were drawdowns and slow periods, but overall, this version ended positive. So my honest conclusion is simple. The both direction opening range breakout with a 2R target did pass this test. It had a low win rate, but the winners were much bigger than the losers. That helped the strategy finish positive. This does not mean the strategy is finished. It still had over 1,000 losing trades. It still had a 10 trade losing streak, and it still needs more testing. But based on this report, the both direction 2R test is the best result so far. This is exactly why I'm testing one change at a time. So that wraps up test number 6. In this test, I turned on both longs and shorts and changed the take profit to 2R. The strategy had 1,628 trades, 576 wins, 1,052 losses, and a 35.38% win rate. The final net result was positive $17,324.62 with a 1.11 profit factor. So even though the win rate was low, the strategy still made money because the average winner was about twice the size of the average loser. For me, this is the best result so far in the opening range breakout series. The long only 1R test had a small positive edge. The short only 1R test failed. The both direction 1R test finished around break even, but slightly negative. The long only 2R test improved the strategy. The short only 2R test failed. And now the both direction 2R test finished positive with the best net results so far. That gives us a better picture of the raw opening range breakout idea. The 2R target seems to help the strategy more than 1R. But this is still not a finished strategy yet. Now the next step is to keep building. The point of the series is simple. One idea, one change at a time, backtest the results, let the data decide. This video is only for testing and education. I'm not telling anyone to trade this strategy. I'm just showing the rules, the report, and the results. That's it for this test. Now we keep building.